Alrighty, folks, so we're here for the first episode ever of Great American Underdog. This is episode 001, and I have the honor and privilege of having a special guest here, none other than my father, Mr. Ron Marvo Sr. Dad, how are we doing today? Happy Easter.
This is crazy.
How cool, right?
It is very cool. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
It's good to have you here. I got to tell you before we begin, great setup.
Oh, yeah, sure, thank you.
Beautiful job.
Oh, well, that's very nice of you. He's appreciated the podcast.
This is not easy for him to interview me.
No. Well, it's surreal because it's so funny you say that because I've always wanted to share your story, really with the world, because I think that your story is one for not just underdogs, but really anybody out there that's looking for a pick-me-up story of someone who's a fighter, a hero, fastest man on two wheels, as I always say. And you've just overcome so many obstacles to find success in your life, both professionally and personally, with family and just everything all around. So, you know, I'm grateful and honored to obviously be your son, as you can tell, having you as my first guest. But I really want to get into telling people your story kind of from the ground up of, you know, being born in Brooklyn. Can you kind of start with talking about from maybe like age 4.5, where obviously you start remembering how life was like through maybe age 14?
Sure. I remember back then, it actually started even before 4.5. My mom, I saw her rear end sticking out of the closet at 4:30 in the morning. These are my only memories of that age.
Sure.
And I caught her. What are you doing? She was hiding a train set for me for Christmas that I wanted. I nagged her so bad that we ended up playing with the train set at 5 in the morning. And then shortly thereafter, I didn't know the turbulence that was going on with my mom and dad.
Sure.
Saw them fighting in the kitchen, my biological father.
Yeah.
And when I saw that this level of not getting along, I don't know to say it any better.
Yeah, that's the way to say it.
The next thing I understood when we were on a plane, I kind of got the feeling we weren't going back. And my mom shortly thereafter divorced my dad.
This was a plane to Florida.
Yeah, but this is all at 4.5 years old.
Wow, yeah.
So my 4.5-year-old thing, that was the extent of it. And then boom, I'm in Florida. My mom's divorced from dad.
Yeah.
And we're moving on.
Mm-hmm. And then grandma had remarried at that point once she got divorced with Papa.
Yes. Thinking I needed a father figure, which all young men do, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
She wanted someone to take me to baseball games, play ball, but it wasn't to be. The guy turned out to be a slob. Didn't treat my mom well, and my mom was not one to jab you, to irritate you into a fight.
Of course.
She was very mellow.
Right.
And
like mom.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That side, I think that's one of the reasons I love your mom.
Sure.
But she remarried thinking I needed a father figure. He turned out to be a piece of garbage.
Yeah. Yeah, and you essentially had to take care of that situation in a way where you had to step up and be at even a young age of what, 13, 14?
This was I'm still 8 now.
Oh, you're so okay.
At 8 years old, 6 days before my 8th birthday, my mom she had met someone a year, I think 2 years after I left 4.5. So I'm guessing by 6.5 is when my mom decided she might want to remember. Maybe 7. Yeah. I think he was only around. His name was Larry.
Sure.
He was only around a short time after. So for 3 years we lived in Florida. I went to school there. I was in a class and I got bounced around because we were bouncing to my aunts and my uncles because we weren't situated.
Yeah, you weren't grounded there
no.
at all.
So, and then she met him. And 6 days before my 8th birthday, my father passes away in New York City from cirrhosis. That was the reason for the breakup.
Understood.
Not drugs back then, but alcohol.
Yeah.
And he had a problem.
Well, alcohol, you know, going back through like the 30s, and anybody that was younger in that generation, obviously with prohibition, things like that, and there was a depression, you know, there's a lot of people that had carryover from those times and those eras, I'm sure. So who knows the reason why, but either way, so he passes, you're in Florida, and is Larry living with you guys in Florida at this time?
He's married to my mom, living, and even in the early beginning with him, he would mistreat my mom, yell 2 levels, and even get physical. And I looked at him as I grew older, because he was with us till I was about 13 and a half.
Right.
Mom tried to get, this is pertinent, I'm going to try to work this in.
Yeah,
I have to weave this. It's true, but I want to weave it so it all blends.
It's like the board with the dots and the strings.
Yeah, like the pegboard.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Anyway, senior moment.
It's okay. We were talking about essentially Larry moving back.
Okay, so we come back. My anger became seething anger. I would look at him and actually hate him.
Sure, yeah.
Because and I'm in. I remember I'm in class. I'm 12 and a half, and back then this is what I forgot in the beginning. Back then, you could not cite irreconcilable differences. Courts wouldn't hear it. Judges wouldn't hear it. No. The first thing when you're married back then.
It's like late 1950s, early 1960s.
60, yeah. You had to go, before you could get split up legally, divorced.
Yeah.
You had to go to counseling several times to try to make your marriage work.
No matter what.
That was the law.
Wow.
That was, my mom could not get away from this man. So one day I'm sitting in class, teacher says, we used to close these big windows with poles.
Okay.
And, you know, back then you clapped out the erasers to clean the erasers.
Of course, you had blackboards.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I'm closing the one, I don't know, 4th, 5th grade.
Sure.
I'm closing, I don't know if I was that right. I'm closing the windows in the class. And she's now asked everybody to sit. Ron, put the pole down, get it. And I sit, but I'm looking out the window. I'm just looking out the window. And she catches me, and I'm toward the back of the class, and says, you want to share with the class what's so interesting out that window?
Oh, wow. Okay.
You know, and I'm like, not really. No, please let us know. I mean, you're staring. I'm giving a lesson up here.
Teacher doing the authority thing.
And which they're entitled to a degree.
Uh-huh.
They're there to teach you, and not all kids are easy.
Very different back then, too.
Yes. You have more respect for your teacher, and the teacher had more respect for the parents and general
More
well-being of the
collaboration.
children. Yeah, they talked more.
Oh, for sure.
Not that they took upon themselves to do what they want.
Yeah.
But that's
Anyway.
another story.
So you're looking out the window, she
So
yells at you.
I'm looking at the window, and I go, well, I really rather not talk about it. No, please, elaborate. I didn't even know if she said that word then.
Yeah.
Share. Share with us.
Yeah.
I said, okay. Well, if you want, now I'm actually annoyed at the teacher.
Yeah, that she even brought
because
it up.
she hit me condescendingly, and even at a young age, you sense that kind of feeling in someone when they're talking to you.
Sure. Well, you've always
Even
had
as
a
a
great
kid.
sense of recognizing somebody else's energy and what's entered a room or exited a room.
Well, you
so,
better know how to do that in this world. You'll never see
yeah. Well, you from a young age, clearly. So go ahead.
So, I now tell, well, I'm actually worried about when I walk home today, will my mom have a black eye and will my stepfather be drunk?
Right.
You could hear a pin drop.
Yeah, she felt like shit.
And I went, and now I have to go home right now. And I walked right out of the classroom crying. So now, I get home, and I find this man sitting with a beer, Ron Gold beer, and a big TV, my mom is at the sink, and I see my mom, and I look around, and she's kind of keeping one side. I'm looking at my mom at her right side.
Gotcha.
And I noticed she had a bruise. I don't know why, what compelled me, but I remember when my biological father died, I told this man, I said, if my father were here, he wouldn't let you get away with the way you treat my mom. He's dead.
Wow.
And he's not, a real cold bastard.
Definitely
really.
sounds like it.
Wouldn't play catch, nothing.
Just bitter and cold.
Bitter and cold. I don't know what happened to him. Somebody must have took his milk money.
Took his milk money when he was young.
Anyway, Dove.
That's beautiful.
What a beautiful sign. We're sitting in the garage.
Yeah.
I look at the camera.
Yeah, of course. You can
We're
talk
sitting
to
in the garage with the door open, and Dove just landed right in the garage door opening, and on Easter.
Yeah, on Easter Sunday, and it's beautiful
Hallelujah.
out. This is all a blessing.
Yes.
So
Crazy.
What are you talking?
I don't know what compelled me. I walked into the room.
Yeah.
I got a softball bat, and I hit him in the back of the head.
Good for you.
We went to court over it. There were ambulances, there were police. Well, we finally end up in divorce court again. There was a separation granted because of that episode. But now we're in divorce court, and the judge is looking, pictures of my mom, bruises, and he's on the other side, and he's looking.
Yeah.
He asked my mom, so now he turns to my stepfather,
Right.
who now was seeking divorce, right?
Yeah.
And did you do this? Is this, show him the picture? And he looked, yeah, but I love her. I was drunk. You love her. He said, let me tell you something. You've been to counseling, I see, because this woman has tried more than once. You've been to counseling, you've been here, didn't work. Well, today it's going to work.
So Grandma went through the whole process.
I'm going to grant this divorce full. You go anywhere near these two people, I'll put you in jail. I'm not supposed to say this, I'm a judge. He apologized actually
Right.
before he said it. He goes, what I'm about to say I shouldn't say, but I feel compelled right
Yeah.
So he says it, and he goes, I would probably hit you with a bat too. That's my mother. Like he had common sense.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to suggest that common sense is split somebody's head with a
That's all right.
No.
No, and this is also, mind you, a very, very different time in the world. There's one stenographer probably recording the whole fucking thing anyway. There's no cameras the same way, nothing like that. So
Long story short, now we're free.
yeah.
I don't know how my mom procured it, but she got an apartment.
Wow.
Where we could be a super. Some friend of hers gave her a lead.
And at this point, you're how old? 13, 14?
14 and a half.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow,
just
wow.
about 14.
Yeah. And before we continue where Grandma gets the apartment, would you say that this was, in your personal life, the first time where you've actually had to, in your opinion, step up, fight for what you want, and overcome an actual challenge of this level? It didn't even feel like that.
It felt, the only feeling I can tell you is that didn't hit me at first.
Of course.
The first thing that hit me was freedom. He was an animal.
Yeah.
And in the story, I saw an ice cream man that went up the block that looked like, I'm going to just tell it right now. I saw an ice cream guy.
Yes, please.
When I was 17, 8, maybe 19. Going up the block. And I went, he looked like my stepfather. I went, shit. And I was with my friends, and I ran, and there's cars, and he's getting to the stop sign. I run, I jump in. Show me your. He goes, what? I don't want any.
Show me your ID right now.
I said,
know
no.
who you are.
Show me your leg.
Oh, wow.
Because my stepfather
Yeah.
had a tattoo of a mermaid on his leg.
So you would know if
he was the guy was like a drunken sailor.
Yeah. So you wouldn't ask him for his license, but you knew if he had that tattoo, it was him.
If he had that tattoo, he was going to be delivering ice cream for a while. Because now I'm grown.
Of course, you're a man.
And I remember
what the fuck you did.
I remember the nights my mother cried. I remember the pleading And I remember all she went through, and she toughed it out.
Yeah.
I don't know how we got where we are, but now we're on
Well,
85th Street,
Yep.
and I'm the super. I don't know shit about boilers, but I know.
Yeah, well,
I knew how, for some reason I always fixed the sink, even as a kid.
Was that like a foreman job almost, where like so the sink and like make sure
What
that
you do is you do building maintenance
Okay,
as
yeah.
a super. Now, if the elevator breaks, obviously you call it out.
You
We
can't
didn't
fix
have an
an elevator.
elevator. We had a 4-4 walk up.
Yeah. Oh wow.
But you would look at a light socket. If the fuses blew, back then it was fuses, not all circuit breakers.
Oh wow. Okay.
A little circuit.
You gotta go
thing,
look.
You screwed it in, and
It pops. Okay. Yep. I seen him. I didn't grow up with him.
anyway,
Thank you.
I found some. I actually saved them.
I bet
from
you
the
did.
old owners of the house.
That has all the tools,
So-
everybody. Just so you're aware.
Yeah, I got
Probably multiples of them.
too much shit. I got a drill in every
Yeah,
garage.
yeah. That's all right. So you're the superintendent of your apartment building. at
Took care of the
14
building.
in Brooklyn, New York, Bensonhurst.
Yeah, and I get a job. I'm not going to school. I'm lying to mom, to grandma.
Yeah.
I'm lying to her. She thinks. Go ahead.
Was that because you felt the urgency
Yes.
to be able to go make money?
Yeah. Yeah. I got. Yeah. How are we going to do this?
How am I going to go to school and
we
have
had
this live?
free rent, and I didn't know we were on
still have to live.
we were on welfare.
You still have to live. Yeah.
No. So my mom, I would go down to the welfare department with her with a box. It had big cheese,
I remember you.
and it had gold cans. It gave you potatoes. It gave you
Peanut
bags
butter.
of rice, peanut butter, and it all said U.S. government on it. So I used to take a
Wow.
towel like I was going to the beach and cover the box.
So nobody knew.
I was embarrassed.
Yeah. And you had friends at 14.
But I went with my mom,
Yeah.
and we went home like, boy, we were excited.
Of course.
Because there were macaroni and butter times, and just
Well,
rice.
you always told me the story about how Grandma said even it's funny Easter with like Good Friday.
Mhm.
You know, you didn't have steak and.
Oh,
buddy
my
buddy walked
mom
in.
had a saying. I said, one day I brought a friend of mine home, and I think his name was Tom. I don't remember.
It's all right.
When Tommy, my mom would go, G, did you eat?
Yeah.
One word, G. These crosses look good.
Yeah.
You gotta look at these crosses.
They're mad.
I gave him one a long time ago. He lost it, which is fine.
Don't
Shit
even
happens.
That's not fine with me personally.
Then
I'm still fucked up about it.
Then I gave him mine because my son has to be walking around with God hanging on him. And then I found the guy who made that
Yeah.
how many years ago?
God, it's 10 years now.
No, more.
No, I had your
It's got at least 10.
I had your
All right.
1984ish piece until like 2013, 14.
At least, okay, so at least
Yeah.
10 years. I haven't seen this guy. I found him. And he
Keep
said,
going.
just
Keep going.
bring me the stuff.
They were good.
So I bring the cross and chain, and he duplicated it
Yeah.
to the T. And that was really good. But,
Yeah, it's wild.
I
So
forgot
no, it's okay. I pulled it out and stopped you in your
you
tracks.
gotta help me because
We were talking about 14 and a half. You're coming home from welfare. You didn't know mom was on welfare.
okay.
And you
I
covered
got
it with
a
a
job.
towel.
I got a job in the fruit stands.
Right.
I mean, it's a bit embarrassing, but the one thing I won't do ever, and you know this since you're a little boy, I will not lie to you. I'll crush you with the truth, whether you like me or not, but I can't lie.
Sure.
So if I'm going to tell any part of a hard time story, if Uncle Wayne, a friend of ours, we call him Uncle.
Love you, Uncle Wayne.
Uncle, we love you. Said something very nice to me the other night. He says, you weren't an inspiration. I wanted to be like you, he told me. Maybe
Yeah,
he
Wayne's
goes,
10 years younger than you?
Yeah, he tells me stories about things I did and helped people. I don't even remember. I'm not trying to
No.
to sound
But that's
right
that,
forth
as a
righteous.
validation, regardless of you being my
I
father.
was just flawed.
I have a lot of people that have told me that throughout my entire life about you growing up, so
Yeah.
it's not surprising.
For all the
From friends of yours, of course, absolutely. The stories, everything. You truly are
Well-
a great American underdog and an inspiration to people.
Thank you.
And we barely even scratched the surface.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Because you know a lot of it, and
Yeah.
it's coming, and I have to honestly tell the viewers, whoever's going to watch this, I had a very interesting life.
Oh yeah.
I'm not rich or anything, but it was crazy how I got here.
Yeah, the journey.
The journey was insane because if you would have told me I'd be happily married living in New Jersey, around the corner from the racetrack I used to go to in 1983.
Well, that's the universe and things coming back together.
And I'm in the neighborhood.
We talk about that all
I
the
went to
time.
Denny's the night I won the race in '83.
Yeah,
and I'm right around the corner now,
For 30
living here
years.
for the 27 years
Yeah.
we're here. And how we got here, but that's coming down the line.
Yeah, so that's so true and such a great point. But we're going back to now,
86
welfare,
Street.
coming back home, and your buddy with the steaks. So, but first you're talking about welfare.
Oh yeah, my mom said, she said, "What do you have?" I got chuck steaks, potatoes, Niblets corn, and my mom would call them corn beans.
Corn beans. Yeah.
He goes, "But Mrs. Marvo, it's Good Friday." She said, "Listen, you don't eat meat on Friday." And my mom would say, "Let me tell you something. It's a Good Friday when you got meat to eat."
It's fucking right.
And it is right.
Yeah.
Everybody takes shit for granted. I look at all the climate. I don't want to go too far off.
Yeah,
but
no, it's cool.
I just, there are
This is your
privileges.
episode. You do what you want.
Thank you. I like that.
Yeah, it's the
There
laid back
there-
beauty of Great American
There
Underdog.
are things.
You earned your spot and your word always. So.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
There's shit going on. Let me tell all you young people something. Appreciate your parents. Have some kind of a faith, whether it be God, Muslim, whatever. But have faith. Always in peaceful. And let me say, be grateful for your freedoms,
Amen
because
to that.
they are in jeopardy. And it doesn't matter who you support, but we need some serious help in this country.
Amen.
So pray to whoever you pray to, and be
Thank you.
grateful every day.
Thank you.
I had to shove that in.
No,
there.
it's okay because honestly, it's like you said, it doesn't matter what you believe in or who you believe in. It's just have faith, and look at underdogs like my father here, and fighters out there that might be doing what you want to be doing in your life to make a difference in the world, and talk to them. And that's exactly why I had to share your story, because it's an opportunity for other people to hear somebody who's persevered and made it through a lot of trials and tribulations. So
I have to. I think of what I like about this is we're just hanging.
yeah, that's
I think of
the beauty of it.
how it was turbulent, but it was so unexpected. The bumps that we got here, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna get into your mom
Yeah.
because it is eons further than if what she went through and came through.
Yeah, we're gonna get
viewing
to that.
it, and I gotta tell you.
Well, we're gonna get to that.
I know.
We're at the pretty
All right.
much 14-ish years old. We're in Brooklyn.
Go.
I know you've been the superintendent for your apartment building for quite some time at this point.
Yeah.
Like maybe till you were 18.
I stayed there. My mom had her apartment.
Yeah.
And I took care of the building. Maybe, and then I still remained the super. I remained the super. My mom got Section 8. They call it Section 8. And she lived on the first floor, and I occupied the basement behind the boiler room, but it was a dynamite bomb. I have
Yeah.
to say.
So you already at a younger age, a lot younger than a lot of the younger generations today and the young folks of today, were on your own, essentially.
When I was 17, when I was 17 years old, my mom stopped mixing the water for the hallway, and I just said, "Stop!
Yeah.
I got it."
I got it
And I would take out garbage pails.
for the entire apartment.
There's 24 families. Everybody got 2 pails.
Wow.
But
Down the whole stairs.
they would take their garbage down the stairs. It would go in a big room in the cellar,
Gotcha, and then you'd bring it out to the curb.
and then you'd bring it to the curb. All the pails weren't always used up, but I was always taking out at
Yeah.
least 24. At least 24.
Well, you were already in shape.
They were galvanized.
You were also I always remember you telling me about how you were skinny,
I
how
was-
I was when I was that age.
I was very lean.
Yeah. So you had some cardio going on, but at this point, was there friends in your life? Was there people you went and hung out with as a teenager?
gosh.
I know that one story I definitely want to have people hear
Oh.
is about you jumping over the Volkswagen Beetle and how you and Tommy Calabro met. Who's a childhood friend of yours.
Well, the Volkswagen Beetle was just a quick dare.
Yeah.
I got on a mini bike, and there was a place called, and a lot of people will probably relate to this if they were, called the Creek.
Yeah. Well, there's gonna be people.
And it
from
was
Brooklyn.
down Avenue U behind the Flame. And you would go there on a Saturday with your mini bike, and you would just spend the day, and you take a pocket full of master links for the chain, because the chain would get sand on it,
Okay.
and it would stress, and they weren't heavy chains, and they break.
So you'd replace it on the spot.
Yeah, because all it is like an E-clip, but a long
Okay.
E-clip.
Yeah, it's like a motorcycle.
And it's the same, exactly,
Yeah.
but smaller.
Okay.
So you have the safety clip, and you have a part where you pull
Got
it
it.
off and you pull it through.
So you had those.
So you went with a pocket with 4 or 5 master links. You'd run to the store and go, "Give me 4 master links."
Right.
Whatever they were, and you had a needle nose plier, and you went down to the creek. Somebody dared me. Now people used to go to the creek to abandon their cars.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay, there were more cars in that water.
Are you serious?
If rust.
Why? Because they were trying to get an insurance check
Wait.
back then.
If rust.
Yeah.
I know of 2 guys that did it, that took a car and drove it into the water at 60 miles an hour.
Holy shit.
They have to remain nameless. But,
That's fine.
you
That's
know
fine.
the story.
Yeah,
I'm
you
talking
told me
about.
this briefly. Yep.
We call it the sea view.
You could say Bill and Ted took the sea view.
Right. We call it the sea view.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway,
That's funny.
so.
Wait, so before we get to the Beetle real quick then,
Go.
you had already, how old were you at the Beetle?
Oh,
Roughly.
I was
Rough
still
number.
I was still a kid. I was maybe 15 and a half, 16.
So is this
I had
after Tommy Calabro challenges you to a race?
No, I'll get to that.
Okay.
What happens
Put
is
that together for me.
we go.
Everybody.
I ride my mini bike. We go down the creek, and people would have. What I was saying about rust.
Yeah.
People would abandon cars, so there were more cars sent with bricks on the pedal into the water.
Just get rid of it.
Okay.
Get rid
So,
of it.
so somebody took a Beetle to abandon it, but didn't push it in the water.
All
They
right.
just took the wheels off it and left it on the floor.
Sure. Okay.
So it might have been this tall
Holy
with
shit.
no wheels on.
All right, so it wasn't.
So we
the
took
extra...
a sheet of plywood, we threw it up the back, and said, "Come on!"
Oh my god. So that was, I guess, right on the bank of this creek.
Well, we put we secured, the water maybe was 20 feet away. It was in the sand.
Yeah. But you had to kind
But
of.
there was enough to land where you didn't go in the water. You still had room.
Is that like kind of where the golf course is and those kind of things?
No, it's
And
across the street from Marine Park.
Okay, because I was gonna say, in order to get to the water, you're not in the central part of.
No, you go right from Avenue U, right down this gully.
Really?
Yeah. Listen, you went there on a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
You hear.
You know what's.
You hear 17 dirt bikes.
Yeah.
Everybody would go here. There were berms, there were hills. It was like
A little sports
a
park.
racetrack oasis in the middle of Brooklyn.
Middle of Brooklyn.
Because I'm telling you, there would be guys out with equipment on dirt bikes going crazy.
Yeah.
And then I didn't have the money. I had a mini bike.
So you would do this with, I guess, a couple of childhood friends.
Well, I would go all alone sometimes.
Yeah, because you just
It was
enjoyed
an escape.
It was an escape. Okay.
I had listen.
So riding from
I-
a young age was always there as an
I-
escape. It's okay. It's a little alarm.
It was.
Shout out to Sandy Sarami real quick for the alarm that went off when we first started recording at Hamilton Honda. We were in the parking lot and somebody went from drive to reverse and grinded their gears while we were trying to talk. So funny. But anyway, so friends and motorcycle and mini biking at this point.
Yeah. For me, it was
it being
a way.
escape.
I would get my mini bike carried out of the basement, started up. It was transportation. I get to every corner. Anybody who had a mini bike, you took an extra spark plug and you stuck it in the handlebar and put the grip back on, because the cops would come and they'd break your spark plug
you
with a
serious?
bat so you can't ride it
They
anymore.
can't ride anymore.
You know, they would catch you. They'd chase you.
Huh.
I mean, I ran away from police
I'm
on
sure.
a mini bike at 14 years old, and I'm going wrong ways
Yeah.
up sidewalk.
And you also at the same
They
time
would
while
take
being
your mini bike.
superintendent, playing on mini bikes but it really wasn't
Yeah.
playing. It was also an escape.
Yeah.
More importantly, is like your
Going
leisure time.
Going to the creek was
And also-
actually a great day.
Am I mistaken? A paper route?
No, I didn't have a paper
You never
route.
did paper
No,
route?
Uncle George did.
Uncle George.
I never had a paper route.
Okay. Can
No.
you make Uncle George when roughly?
Huh?
When did you meet Uncle George roughly, age
We
wise?
were.
Not the whole story right now.
I'm guessing. Well, there's parts of it I want to.
Sure.
We were
Yeah.
13 and a half. Me, him, and Tommy Calabro.
I was
You
gonna
asked
say,
about
yeah.
the mini bike with Tommy Calabro.
Yeah.
I'm sitting in front of Nellie's Pizzeria, and in front of Nellie's Pizzeria, I'm sitting facing the wrong way on 86th Street. I'm on the sidewalk and I'm having pizza. And I hear prop, 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 this mini bike burping and farting coming up the street. And he has,
I'll leave it out. I'm just gonna fix it.
it's all spray painted gold.
Yeah.
He didn't use any masking tape. Side rubber was gold.
Oh my
everything was
God!
gold.
Really?
The pull cord was gold.
No shit.
And he just asked me if I wanted to race that thing, and that's the first time I ever met him or ever laid eyes on him.
You want to race
And-
that thing?
And then we grew up. He had motorcycles. I had motorcycles.
Yeah.
Everybody was
And
racing.
Uncle George too, I'm sure.
Not with bikes. He had bikes.
Okay. So you didn't get into motorcycles later, because I know
No,
you guys
I bought him a
later on
motorcycle.
in life would go to the
You know,
rapids.
I bought him one, right?
You'd mentioned that to me before in the
Yeah.
past.
Yeah, I put some money in a case, and he was always worried about me when I would go on job interviews. So he would like stick a $10 bill and wish me good luck when I would go, and he'd give me a shirt, and I didn't have any money, and he'd still.
Yeah.
And
But this is
so
later,
I
this
thought
is later,
I
though,
thought
like-
it only right to say thank you. And when I had a chunk of cash, I went out and bought him a bike.
And he's
Had him
your best
escorted
friend.
out of the store, brought down the block
Yeah,
for
you're-
some fake emergency.
Really? Oh, that's so good.
And I wheeled it in with a bow, almost 3 feet in diameter. It was
Yeah.
great. It was a good day. So he had a couple of bikes, but no, not like me. I'm just bike crazy.
Yeah, well, and that's later in life, anyway, when you guys start riding. But
Mm-hmm.
to kind of round out, I guess, your early Brooklyn life, and before you get into the military, what I kind of want to ask you is, growing up, we always talked about, there's book smart and there's street smart, and a lot of times, when people who have to overcome certain obstacles that are more things that living situation than they are, let's just say, getting good grades in school or performing well at a sport, those things weren't even an option for you. So would you say that your street smart IQ was one of the things that you developed early on in life, and really you feel like was something that, because of that stage in your life, allowed you to persevere in things in your future? Do you think if you didn't have that same foundation that you had with having to persevere consistently?
I don't know.
through
I would
obstacles?
sit back and I would watch. I don't want to sound wrong when I say this. The more privileged kids
Right.
that had their parents were
Sure.
happy and they were playing organized ball. I would look through the fence and wish that were me.
Right.
But it wasn't to be.
Yeah.
And my street smart. Look, you having two smarts, street and book, is like learning more than one language. If you have two languages, you're more viable in the
It
world.
is its own language.
You need them both.
Agreed.
But I had more street than I did. I made some blunders and stupid mistakes. We all do.
Yeah, but that was with school, and you had a situation where school wasn't going to be an option. You needed
No,
freedom.
I wonder because I get very deep in thought about the
The
science
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, me too. That's
I
probably
wonder
where you
what
got
I
it from.
would have become.
Of course.
I think about I might have become a surgeon to like save somebody.
Well, certain
Who
people out there.
knows? If I had that kind of an upbringing
Yeah.
and went to the right schools, I might have went to
Certain
medical school.
certain people, we get into that same
I think
space
I would have been a good lawyer.
and universe kind of conversation sometimes, and get a little bit out there, and I think that that's good from an open-minded perspective. some people might argue that Ron Marvo, the surgeon, does exist in an alternate reality at the same time while you're here right now.
Let's not go there.
But you're here right now and live the life you live. So now, moving on from your teenage years, you go to the military. So what made you decide to go military before we even talk about being 82nd Airborne and being an Airborne Ranger?
Okay. Too much bullshit going on in the neighborhood.
Right.
Work wasn't great. You worked, you shaped up at the Union Hall. I became a carpenter.
So you were a carpenter right even before?
Yeah, I made my sister a table when I was 14 years old with a jigsaw.
Yeah, so that was another, and just a pause, another innate skill that you developed.
Because
you had an interest in the way things move.
How
And
I built the table? My sister pointed it out to me in a book. She goes, "Isn't that a nice table?" And I dissected it from the picture. And I said, if I take 3 2x6s, put them together, I made Frankie Brownell a table.
You made Genetic Crib. You've built tables. You built decks.
My bridge.
Yeah.
We got to show.
Well,
my
you did
bridge.
that out of metal, but I'll put that in post production.
Yeah, if we could just set. You have pictures of it.
Yeah, I'll put a picture right in between us.
The bridge.
I'll have it pop up while we talk.
That's very cool.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, you gotta show people the bridge and then fade in bridge.
That's great. See, I don't know how to do any of that shit.
I only learned more recently, but so anyway,
Go.
So you made a table for Aunt Arlene.
Yeah, I wanted to get out of being a carpenter, but back to your original question. Work was. Let me go into the Army.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? Recruiter gets me. He signs me up to be an Airborne Ranger, 1st Battalion.
Pause real quick. It's so funny because if you had said you wanted to be a Marine or Air Force, your whole trajectory would have maybe been different.
Maybe.
Because speaking with Errol Dover before, who's a Navy SEAL commander, he went to a recruiter and he talks about how, he said, I want to be in the Navy. And then that's how he went, just because he walked in there and chose that's where I want to go. So very similar.
Well, I
find that interesting.
I actually didn't choose it.
Okay.
He said, it's good, he said, your personality, gung ho, you'll be out there. He glorified it.
Right.
Until you're out there in the rain, like Forrest Gump in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
You're in the field, you want to shower, you eat, it's not fun.
No.
Where some of my friends went in and they procured jobs. One became a military policeman, which they call an MP. Another one went into communications. So when they were done with their time, they came out, they had jobs.
Yeah.
Me, stupid me, I just did all the fun shit. I want to jump out of planes, I want to do this, I want to do the slide for life, I want to do this. And I saw this stuff on commercials. It's how they sell you.
Yeah, but it's exciting.
For the
you.
It's exciting for the right person, because you can't get.
Think about me. I would be like, fuck that. I'm not jumping out of a plane.
I have friends that can't step on a plane and fly.
Yeah,
let alone jump off the.
I got you.
So, it's
so
true. But if you're that person,
yeah,
if you're the Eric Pastrana
or Travis Pastrana,
whatever his name,
yeah,
because
want to do double backflips on dirt bikes.
See, now I find that amazing.
Insane.
Like I don't think I could ever do anything.
I think if you'd grown up with dirt bikes doing flips off ramps, you would have attempted. 100%.
Well, I would attempt it right now because he lands in foam.
Yeah.
Did you ever see him land?
Yeah, it's just foam pit.
Yeah, but you see how high he goes? 40 feet.
But the foam pit's big enough and deep enough where the bike doesn't hurt him.
40 feet, Ron.
I know, but he.
You know how far down he falls in that foam?
Oh, easily. Well, I used to have the foam pit at the trampoline place.
Yeah.
And when you did it, if you cannonballed into it, you go right to the bottom, and then there'd be some people that would jump in there,
swim through foam.
and they get stuck, and then you gotta throw them literally a life.
To pull them out of
the
foam
the foam pit. Yeah, that's what do you think they do with probably the motorcycle and him? They probably have to pull him out. So he sells you on the idea of Army or Airborne Ranger essentially, and you love it. You're like, I'm doing.
So I go to Fort Dix for basic training. I'm in Fort Polk, Louisiana for AIT, Advanced Individual Training.
Nice.
And then I was to go to Fort Benning Jump School. My MOS, military occupational status, was 11 Charlie.
Okay.
11 Charlie was a mortarman. So if you look at an army, the way it's set up, you have infantry, 11 Bravo. rifle guys. Behind the rifle guys, you got the mortars. Behind the mortars, you have the howitzer cannons, and so on. The bigger, so we're right up front.
Yeah, your second row.
What I'm supposed to do is shoot my mortar round over and put flares up so we can advance.
Yep.
Okay, so this is
Push the enemy back.
you know, what's that going to do for me when I get out of the service? Nothing.
You can
So,
shoot a mortar over a building.
So I'm 11. so, what was you saying?
I said you can shoot a mortar over a building.
Yeah.
Look what I can do. There you go.
Please, I remember one day I was throwing 45 records.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. What, off a building?
No, well, yeah, into a lot.
Okay. Yeah.
So I didn't
Target
think
practice.
anybody was, it wasn't endangering anyone.
Yeah. Okay.
But it makes me laugh when I hear you say that.
Sorry.
What was I?
It's
So
okay.
I'm in Fort
Polk,
Louisiana. I
Advance.
leave there. Thank God that was a hellhole. And then went to Fort Benning, Georgia. Fort Benning, Georgia, they're supposed to jump you in no more than 12 knots of wind, and we had gusts. And I got hit.
Was this your first jump?
I didn't. It wasn't a plane jump yet. What it was is a tower.
Oh yeah.
You have a tower. So anyway, long story short, I got injured, so it set me back a couple of weeks, and then finally I graduate jump school. But I tell you a funny story.
But before you even get to that,
Was
just
getting on the plane.
tell me your first experience of getting in the plane.
It was great.
Yeah.
I loved it. The first thing that I remember is the plane's out on the tarmac, and the sergeant says, "First thing I want to tell everyone, give me your undivided attention. Not one person other than the pilot will land with this plane. I have a chute on, you have a chute on, we're all going out. If you give a shit when you get in the door, we will throw you out of the plane.
Yep.
You stand a better chance." Now, he's being honest.
No, just telling you what it is. This is what's happening.
You stand a better chance doing it the way we tell you to do
Following
it.
procedure.
Everything will be fine.
Yep.
But if you panic and freeze, know that you're going.
Common
So
state
if-
of chaos coming up again.
So if you don't want to jump out of a plane or be thrown out of a plane, stop now.
Yeah.
No shame. Just
Yeah.
stop
No,
now.
you can go.
Some
You can
people
go.
can, some people can't. Okay, we're up there. And you hook the guy up. It's called static line. You
Yeah.
hook up for him. And
Yep.
Somebody's
Does it for you.
So you're going out.
Single file.
They put a girl
First.
first.
Yeah.
You have the right stick and the left stick. So they put a girl first. Figure any guy that's going to be scared, I don't
After
even
seeing
do
her
that
go.
after seeing her go.
Yeah, I gotta go now.
I don't want to sound chauvinistic.
different, but
Hooray for her.
different time
Different
period
time.
too. So.
So she go. Now
Swallow.
you go. They
One
smack
after
you
the
on
other.
the ear. You go.
Go. Because
Well,
in
one
real
guy
time,
goes,
that's what would be happening.
He's screaming. And I'm like, first of all,
Get the
I
fuck
said,
out.
wait a minute. That's the guy who said to me, the guy in front of me, that's the guy who said to you before, "Are you going to go?" I said, of course I'm going to go.
Fuck yeah.
But they told you on the ground they're going to throw you out. I don't know if I could do this. I said, listen, don't fucking do anything stupid. Get to the door, put your hands on the door.
Yeah.
And when they tap you on the ears, just jump. Because if you don't, you could go
They're
out
gonna throw you
upside
sideways.
down.
Yeah.
You know,
The wind's going by.
When the wind catches you, you're like a
You're out.
tissue in
Yeah.
the wind.
Poof.
Well, screaming, like
Yeah.
breaking his nails.
To stay
They
up.
flung him out of the fucking plane. He was tangled in his line. It was funny.
So, but later, and now you graduate jump school, and later on in one of your later jumps, I just always remember this because
the parachute walk.
the freaking parachute walk in and racing somebody to the ground.
I saw somebody do it.
I tell people this, and they're like, "What if I told you that you can go out after someone out of an airplane and beat them to the ground? Would you believe me?" But how?
Well, some
They
people
don't.
can because some people will fill their chute more. Like if you have, and some people will tuck in and go further. or-
Sure.
There's ways.
But you guys have static line, typically
But
speaking.
if you're all doing the same speed,
Yes.
because some chutes can be faster than others.
So go ahead. So tell me a little bit about this.
Guys in front of me,
And you saw somebody do it first?
Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't even ever think to do
possibility
it, but it
of
made
it.
sense when I saw it.
Like lots of things.
I mean, to some people they're going to say I was crazy, but
Yeah,
it
for sure.
made sense.
I would say you're a little crazy, and that's okay.
Mechanically, it made sense.
Correct.
The air is going up into the chute.
Mm-hmm.
The canopy is full.
The person below you.
It's like those.
Drafting a car.
No, the jump castles you buy for kids.
Oh, yeah, that blow up. Yeah, because the air is
Okay.
shooting into it.
Okay, if you get on top of a parachute
While
with
it's
a man
full.
that's in it and he's falling, you can walk on it.
Yeah,
It's that firm.
for sure.
I mean, like sand.
It would be the same concept as if you're moving fast enough over water and you ran out onto the water, you'd be able to walk on top of it, like skip on top of it. Right? All right. Yeah, sure.
So, I'll bet you $20 I beat you down. He goes, how the fuck are you going to do that? I said, so, long story short, the guy below you has the right of way.
Yeah.
It's called slipping, slip left, slip right.
Yeah.
He has the right of way. When he's going, he's drifting, you must be aware not to go over him because he will take the air that should be going in your chute.
Right.
And your chute will slowly, but I mean ever so slowly, go like, and start to, at that point you run.
At the point I'm shitting my pants.
Well, that's when you run off the chute.
Yeah, you better.
Now you fall by that guy, the guy looks at you, you're going by him, your chute inflates again.
Right.
I look like a joker.
So
like a joker.
so casual.
You complete
Yeah,
me.
no, I'm telling you, you can just do this. So that's wild. So
And then one guy screaming, "Get off my chute! Get off!"
did you always have? I feel like you've always had this. I feel like you've always had this like no fear of those things. Like I think you were very. I think you're always very. We're always very certain about your ability.
Yeah, I don't want to sound arrogant
No,
and
but you were
say I
certain.
wasn't afraid.
You were athletic. You were afraid, but you had courage in the face of that fear, and you were also recognizing of, in essence, your emotions and saying, "Okay, this is scary,
But I need this.
but I need this." You're funny, man. I love it. I love it. So now you
I don't know.
graduate-
I don't know what drove me.
To what?
Like, if you told me, Ron, they say this thing goes 200 or 190. I don't believe them. I don't know. I'll take a ride. I'll let you know.
I'll let you. I'll go find out.
Give me.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna
Give me
go
the
find
bike.
out, and I'll tell you if it goes fast.
Give me the
enough.
bike. I'll
Yeah.
do it at the right time on a Sunday morning, just at the crack of dawn. I don't want to endanger anyone. I'll get on the turnpike.
Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation about bikes. So
Yeah.
now you graduate jump school, you become a super jock for the obstacle course.
Well, Super Jock came at a basic training.
Okay.
When you're in basic training, you do a PT, which consists of run, dodge, and jump. You go in and out of railings, and you jump over a
through
brook.
barrels.
Then you go again. You come back around a figure eight.
Physical
Come
fitness
back, and you cross a line.
Wow.
Click, and they time you.
Yeah.
And you climb a rope. You climb the ladder.
Yeah.
The rope, the 34-foot rope ladder.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's kind of, it's not so easy to do. People think it is.
No, it's not.
If it were rigid, yes.
You gotta
but,
keep your core tight.
Yeah, it's not so easy.
Like when I did the rope at
Things like
Take the rock
pegboards.
the pegboard's not easy.
Yeah,
at all.
no. But out of a 500, I think my first score was a 448, and I missed Super Jock was 450. So Sergeant says, you're right there.
And this was
And
out
I
of how
said-
many people?
and, what do you mean out of how? Well,
When you did
my
it in your
platoon was
platoon.
50 people.
50 people.
And you have 50 in each platoon, so we have 5 platoons.
Okay.
There's 250 men.
Yeah. Wow.
Anyway, so I said, well, what is this? What is the Super Jock?
Yeah. What does that mean? Yeah.
He goes, you know how you get up in the morning and you got to check your watch to get to the chow line? Well, if you're a Super Jock, you don't have to worry about that. You go whenever you feel like. You know the 7 pull-ups? Everybody, every morning. We had 2 companies. One company was 5 platoons, 50 guys, 250.
Right.
So we had 500 guys going to breakfast at the same time.
No shit.
2 companies. Well, first company would file in. You had certain amount of time to eat, get the fuck out, because the next company's coming in behind
So you
you.
handle your shit
That's
to get
how
to-
systematic it was.
Oh yeah.
So, but as a super jock, and every single person, 7 pull-ups, or you don't go in and eat.
No shit.
Yeah.
At the door.
Right at the door, there's a bar.
Yeah.
In order to go through that door, you got to get on that bar.
So you want to beat everybody
And
to chow too out of bed,
Yep.
and then do your pull-ups and be in there.
So, but for super jocks, you don't even have to do 7
Yeah,
pull-ups.
bye. See you later. Won't run by you.
We don't bother with
No, we
those.
don't do that. So out of 250 men, how many of you were
I was
super jock?
out of 250. There was 10 or 12 of us.
So not many.
It's about 12.
So yeah, so you're in a small percentage athletically
Yeah.
based on that whole.
I was like
group of-
number 8.
Group of, that's incredible.
Yeah,
That's incredible. So,
it was good. I was pretty.
which eventually led to now you then doing the obstacle course, teaching the obstacle course, and then teaching jump school.
Give me that red, bro.
Yeah.
That's another story. Okay, I finally first of all at jump school, my MOS was still 1st Battalion, 1st Ranger Battalion.
Okay.
In jump school, I don't even remember their names, but these were guys from the neighborhood that I knew. 3 of them came through jump school when I had
From
gotten,
Brooklyn?
yeah, yes,
Wow.
when I had gotten injured.
Yeah, because you broke your shin.
Right.
Yeah.
I fractured it,
Yeah,
which
same
is
shit.
broken.
Yeah.
So I'm laying and I see them and I finally am out of the infirmary and I'm walking around. What the fuck are you doing? Holy shit. And I told them my story. They told me theirs.
Yeah.
Where you going? 1st Ranger. What are you, fucking crazy? You'll live in the woods. You'll eat leaves.
Oh shit.
You don't.
Yeah.
Come with us. Come with
You'll
us.
eat leaves. Because in Brooklyn, you guys just got concrete.
Come
You're
with
like-
us. I want a steak.
Yeah.
Come with us. We're all going to brag. We're all going to brag. You could change your MOS. You could still change it.
Oh, so they wanted you to leave with this.
So I went to a captain.
Yeah.
He says, before you think of changing your MOS to go with them, I want to offer you a job as a black hat here to train soldiers.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a job I should have took.
Okay.
Right there. I
Yeah.
would have been an instructor, Allied Forces,
Whole life would
everybody
be
comes
different.
through my class.
Yeah. A whole different trajectory.
Yeah.
Another Ron Marvo in a different
Absolutely.
reality took
But
that
I
job.
did. But I didn't. You did, the bastard.
Yeah, fucking bastard.
So-
God, became a black cat.
So,
So anyway.
where were we?
So 3 friends want to leave to brag
So
before you change your
that's how I
MOS.
ended up going to. So I go to the captain, changes my MOS.
All
I'm
right.
still 11 Charlie.
Okay.
He doesn't change my MOS. My MOS was still 11 Charlie, but now I'm going to Fort Bragg.
Right.
And I'm not going to the Ranger Battalion anymore. I decided I wanted to be 82nd Airborne. Okay. And which I'm glad I ended up doing it anyway.
Yeah.
Because I love it.
All the way.
All the way Airborne. Frankie!
Hey.
So, another Airborne brother. But,
So you go to teach jump school.
so now, no, I wanted to,
Okay.
but I passed up. Now
Yep.
I go to Fort Bragg. At Fort Bragg, we go out on maneuvers, we jump out of planes. We're constantly training for fighting.
Of course.
So everything is about that. You do PT in the morning, you do PT in the evening.
Wild.
Yeah, but all soldiers do that, believe it or
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
At least they did.
Yeah.
Even if they had even if they were cooks, they had to do PT.
great.
Anyway, so my super jock score ended up to be a 492
Okay.
out of
Wow.
500.
Holy crap.
But I think I might have been 10th. I think there were two or three 500s.
Yeah, and you had
And guys you would never expect.
and freaking Houlihan.
Houlihan was a guy I chased. Me and Timmy. Timmy was my roommate.
Yeah.
We chased this guy, and every time we got close,
Athletically, we're talking.
yeah,
Right.
I went, because I started out at 448. Then I went to the 50s, and then my PT got better. I got faster. The ladder bar.
Yeah.
How many sit-ups? I did 64 sit-ups in 1 minute.
Holy shit. Yeah. Yeah. It's fucking nuts.
Back then, yeah.
Yeah, no
But
doubt.
I did it.
Yeah.
I used to climb the train station.
Yeah, just your
my
hands.
hands would be filthy black, but
Yeah.
I'm like, Clothes are clean.
So
So
go ahead. We're talking about not jump school. You pass on Ranger Battalion.
so now
you go
I'm
to
there.
Bragg.
So you get in the plane, you do night maneuvers, you jump out at night,
Yeah.
which sucks because low-level flights give you less time to react if there's a problem. If you're 5,000 feet in the air, you have a problem. You have a few moments to work it out.
Yeah.
Where a suspension light could go over your canopy, you bicycle, you move around,
my
and boom,
gosh.
it comes off.
Yeah.
You don't have much time.
Yeah.
600 feet is nothing.
No, it's nothing. It's
800
literally
feet,
nothing.
it's crazy.
Commercial flights are at 35,000 feet.
It's scarier. When we were in jump school, you had 0 week, ground week, tower week, cable week, and then jump week.
All right.
Or was it 4? I don't remember. But you would run everywhere. Everybody who was going to be a paratrooper
Yeah.
was not allowed to be walking.
Oh, crap.
You don't walk anywhere on Fort Benning.
Wow.
You run.
It's a
Airborne
job.
shuffle.
It's just, yeah. Airborne shuffle. Yeah.
That's it.
All right. Right on.
So you would do that.
Yep.
First week is you run everywhere. The second week is ground week. You learn how to do PLFs, parachute landing fall, and you land on your calf, your ass, your hip, and you do this kind of a crazy roll. Which probably if I did it now I'd break my neck. But and you actually turn your body so you hit almost like an elbow macaroni.
Oh wow. Yeah. So
For
you,
lack of a better,
yeah, you literally out.
you actually hit and you roll out of it with your feet.
I'm gonna cut in a piece of macaroni.
No, well, all right, big pipe,
No, I'm not fucking with you, but oh, it's so funny.
big elbow.
So you go there to earn your 82nd Airborne wings. You get your wings,
Yeah,
right? So now, once you do that, at this point, you decide you're gonna leave the military. You're gonna head back home.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So before we do that, what was like in your opinion?
But you forgot before I left the military.
Yeah, go. No, please.
how I became an instructor for the ROTC Cadets.
Yes, please. I'm sorry.
No, it's quite all right. I needed emergency leave while I was in Fort Bragg.
Okay.
My sister had gotten hurt by my brother-in-law. I wanted to go and resolve the problem. I wanted emergency leave. Drill sergeant refused it. I didn't listen. I went AWOL. But before I did, I tried to get the chaplain involved, everything. But I have to go.
Yeah.
Regardless, whatever happens.
Family. Yeah.
I cannot not go. So I leave without permission. It's called AWOL. I come back, sergeant screaming at me. I said, "It's your fault." In the first
He
place,
let you leave in
you
the first
could have
place.
just signed it.
And let it happen.
Why? What did I ever do to you?
Yeah. Sure.
First of all, I don't know, and I'm not attacking anyone. I don't know. Maybe he had the Napoleon thing.
Okay.
Now you draw what conclusion you want from that.
Yeah. Listen. No, that's fine. Yeah.
But so I don't know.
People have ego, and
Yeah,
regardless,
yes.
and sometimes bad ways.
Yeah.
Regardless.
So he screaming and screaming, and I just told him, "Listen, I got a headache. I had a rough trip
Yeah.
in, out, what I went through here with my sister and brother-in-law, and I went back.
But you went back.
I don't want to hear you screaming at me. It's 6 o'clock in the morning."
Yep.
And I told him, back up, because if you don't back up, I'm going to knock you on your ass. And he didn't anyway. He got in my face again, and I hit him.
Yep.
After I hit him, I get arrested. They want to put me away for 5 years.
Oh my God. Fuck.
He provoked me, this and that. And being I was a super jock, first of all, it's nothing to brag about, and many guys do this.
Yeah.
I got a stripe out of basic. I got another one out of AIT. I got another one out of jump school. And now I'm an active. Well, what happens is I'm E4.
Okay. Yeah.
So I meet this guy, and they ended up giving me correctional custody for 60 days. Everybody who came to speak for me said how great I was.
Yeah.
Because I was your poster child. I don't want to sound conceited when I say
No, it's okay.
but I looked
looked
like
the
the
part.
soldier you see in an advertisement.
Yeah, no doubt
My
about it.
blouse boots, my braids, my beret.
Yeah. And you athletically were there too, so.
So he said, I'm in CCF. They all stuck up for me. I end up going to CCF, and I meet a man who probably would resemble me now. He was an older guy. He was ready to finish his career.
Yeah.
And he's one of the CCF guys. And, run us until I get tired. And I go, I'm going to run this guy in the ground. I'm a super jock.
Yeah, what you
I'm
mean
gonna
you want to
kill
run
this older man.
What you mean you
And
want
then
to
he
run
goes,
so
he
fast?
whistles and he calls the Jeep. And he
Oh,
runs us
God.
all in the sun till we fall down.
Oh, God.
Every one of us went to the infirmary.
Till you literally.
Literally,
Passed out.
yeah, you're never going to want to come back here.
Did you,
But
like, fix
but the trade-off was, we'll make it hard on you, but it's not bad time. It doesn't come off your time.
Okay.
So you get credit for being
For being
credited
in there.
for being in the Army. That 60 days
No matter what.
goes on your record.
Yep.
Where some guys go away,
It doesn't count.
It's bad time. They
Yeah.
come out, they're starting over.
Fresh.
So anyway, I meet him and he asked me would I like to be an instructor. He looked at my paperwork and everything, because he sees me
Yeah, of course.
digging holes, burying holes,
Big hole there, big
carrying
hole there,
rocks.
yeah.
I mean, what do they do? They give you a bigger hammer to break bigger rocks.
Yeah.
But anyway, so you do enough reps, you get strong.
Yeah.
By the time you're on the big hammer, you can lift the dump truck.
You're 12,000 pounds. Let's get Go ahead. You're so funny.
So anyway, I said, yeah, it's pretty cool. What do I have to do? He goes, well, you got to run the obstacle course.
Oh.
Then you have to, before they become second lieutenants,
ROTC
before
Cadets.
they become lieutenants, they must go through a confidence building severe obstacle course.
Oh, wow.
And I had a guy named Robert Mag.
All right.
He came back as a captain. You remember me? To thank me.
Wow.
And that was probably one of the most rewarding things for me because he remembered me. I had that much of an impact on him because I used to tell him, you can do. I used to climb up on the 34-foot net, grab this cable. There were three of them.
Mm-hmm.
When you jumped up, they were close enough that you could grab. And I would pull myself up and go, you could do this!
Yeah, motivate them.
And I'd be
Right?
hanging there like an ape.
Well, that in my life, I've seen people literally tell you, like, I believed I can do it because of you, speaking about you. And this is an underdog moment, so I have to bring
Yeah.
this up. Was this one of the first times that you had somebody react this way towards you in your life? Where you felt that sense of reward and accomplishment for helping? Or was that-
Even
It was different.
yeah, but even when we were little, going back to Uncle George.
Yeah.
Uncle George comes walking down the block. It's a blizzard. There's a milk strike. He's walking toward me. He's walking toward my house.
Oh, chaotic.
From
thing to be
21st
going
Avenue.
on in the world.
He's coming from 21st Avenue.
Yeah.
I lived between Bay Parkway and 23rd. So
Right.
I'm in the middle of my block. He's in the middle. We meet just about near Bay Parkway. I said, where you going? I don't know. Where you going? So I'm bringing you some powdered milk. He goes, get the fuck out of here. And he pulls a bag down. He's bringing me the same thing.
Yeah.
That was very, very
That's my
cool.
Godfather.
Yeah, that's.
I love your Godfather all the time.
Uncle
So
George.
anyway, so he came. This guy comes back.
I call
thanks
him
you- Iggy.
He calls me. He's the only person who calls me Ronald.
Ronald. Yeah. So this guy comes back. He thanks you for helping him. So you're teaching ROTC cadets, and then now continue in there if you'd like, or
Yeah. Well, what do you want to hear? You want to hear about Slide for Life? Because that was. a
yeah, I'd
blast.
love to hear some. About
You know, it's
Slide for
funny.
Life.
You talk about running on canopies.
There's all these things that you did that I
But-
feel like
You,
take a lot of for most people, stepping out of their comfort zone, where for
You'd
you,
be surprised.
it was very
I
innate.
believe
Yeah, but it
there's
was
more.
very innate for you. It was very innate for you.
It's just easy for me. I don't know. I do wheelies. I could make a lawnmower do wheelies.
Sure.
Yeah. It's not hard.
Yeah.
You know, so I guess like some hairdressers, they could just whip up a comb.
Yeah, so you would teach people to slide for life as well, how to execute on that.
but here's the thing. We talk about jumping out of planes. We talk about, I'm being dead serious.
I know you are.
You talk about jumping out of planes. You talk about running on a parachute. Listen to me. When you climb up a very narrow tower, 80 feet, and it's windy, I don't care. That is more unsettling than jumping out of a plane.
Sure.
Because the platform's only like 8 by 8.
Oh, God.
And there's an opening 36 inches.
It's just eerie and quiet.
And there's the cable, and there's a guy up there going, "How you doing?"
Yeah, so this is.
And he's rocking. And I'm going, all right, how are you?
But he's used to being up there all the time because he's doing the shit all day. Yeah.
He goes, "All right, you're going to grab this, you're going to execute a pull-up, and you're going to go." I yell, "Hang free." And I almost think sometimes that is the reason I chose to do this job when he asked. First of all, it got me away from the drill sergeant I hit. I didn't have to go back to him.
Yeah.
And this was a deal that was a 2.5 month deal that you had to sign up for this.
Right, okay.
But
This is like your way of like
but I can
bartering
tell
your
you-
time with the getting in trouble,
Great.
essentially.
So now, I could tell you that I'd watch guys go on it. I go, it's on.
And this is no ordinary, like, I went to Costa Rica and did a zip line on vacation.
No, this is a little different. It's a little bit different. Okay, I mean, don't get me wrong. If any of that equipment failed, you're dead.
You're dead.
You're not
Because you
surviving.
go, if I remember correctly, you go over an open mountain ridge and then cut through some trees into water.
Okay, well, yeah, kind of. You're going off this tower is up, and the lake doesn't begin for probably 180 to 100 feet.
Okay.
If you fall 80 feet,
You're fucking dead.
you're gonna die.
Yeah.
And this is the first obstacle. You don't have any cables. There's no harness. It's
That's the
just
first
your-
thing you do?
No, it's just your two hands.
Okay.
But I knew when I took the job, I always had my eye on, I'm going to do that. I have to do that.
And it's so funny because that's also used as a confidence builder for people.
Well, that
with
was
you,
my
you were
job.
like, "Fuck yeah, I'm doing that."
That was my job. So, and not just him, there were girls.
Yeah.
I sent girls up
First,
to get guys down.
to not be wimps.
No,
Yeah.
no. To go yell at him and tell him to come down.
Oh, wow.
And
okay.
I was the guy in the bottom with the bullhorn.
Yeah.
Okay. So we do this. The net, the cargo net, believe it or not, is more. You don't know how scary it is. I tell everyone, if you want to get a sensation of, because I don't think you have any idea, get a ladder and climb to the peak of your 2-story house.
And
the peak.
Just look from there.
And turn around.
Well, it's so funny because it's like, even when we jumped
It's
off the
high.
rock in West Virginia, Mountain Dew Rock, right?
Yeah.
And it's so
24
funny,
feet.
whenever you jump off something, what you don't realize is you're looking from where your head is, so add another 6 feet on top of wherever your feet actually are, roughly 5-6 feet, however tall you are. So it messes with your mind. It really does. That's what creates vertigo, but...
Anyway, so we learn all the obstacles.
Right.
My job is to run alongside. Come on! Yeah, and I'm running outside. There's a group of 15 or a dozen.
Yeah.
And they're running, and they're being timed. And I'm the one who's running backwards, going, "Come on, catch me!" You know,
Did you always enjoy? Did you always enjoy?
I loved it.
Motivating people and the
Yes.
and the leading people piece of
Yeah,
it.
yes. I'm not to sound
No, it's not.
egotistical, but yeah.
No, because it's not egotistical. Because you're what I would consider a humble leader and love to serve others, and I think that's where I get it a lot of times too, and that's part of what again makes you a great American underdog.
I wasn't always so humble though, right?
No, but we all grow, and
Yes.
time grows us, as you know. So now, what was the number one thing you feel like you learned from your time in 82nd Airborne, military, etc. Outside of being a great athlete, and yes, it gave you that skill of just being super athletic and can do anything with your hands pretty much from carpentry,
But not
etc.
really, because fucking hooligan always beat me by
there's
3
always
points.
well, that's everybody, right? Like in boxing for me, like
I
I
don't
always
know
run
if
into
he
people that
is.
somebody's better than you.
But
you know?
but he pushed me.
Yeah, he drove.
I
you.
don't think I would have gotten to where I got without chasing him.
Yeah.
He was like there for me.
Well,
to
I
chase.
always had that with you and growing up as well. You did that for me where it was like a push because I knew I didn't know how athletic you were when you were younger, but I knew the stories, like even some of the ones we're talking about today, right? Mm-hmm. And then you have people externally outside of home that would do
And
that
they're
for me
all
as well.
true.
Yeah,
I want everybody to know that.
Like Justin Price, love you, Justin. Justin
Justin.
always motivated me athletically.
Yeah,
because
he's a beast.
He was a beast. He still is a beast. Shout out beast. But anyway, so what was like the number one thing you feel like you learned once you left the military? Like what was your biggest takeaway, and how do you think that experience of being in the military shaped you as a person compared to how you were when you first went in?
I came out stern. I came out bigger than when I went in, tougher.
Right.
I was more disciplined.
Okay.
No doubt about it. It disciplined you. And for these people yelling, I have to say this.
Yeah, whatever.
Fuck the military, fuck the military. Like Jack Nicholson said, you need me on that wall. Go stand a post before you say fuck them.
Yeah, go do it yourself.
When I look at these poor people coming home and I hear the younger people talking like these people don't matter.
Right.
And the freedom you enjoy is because they gave it to you.
Right.
And that annoys me.
Yeah.
And I've never been in combat, but I'm humbled when I see somebody with like.
Yeah, but you
I
wouldn't.
don't know, I say thank you.
But there was a time where you were on the runway to go to Angola, so you were ready to go.
And I'm going to tell you, people don't know.
Yeah.
They think they talk shit. They're tough. They're bad. I sat on the runway. There was a problem in Angola, and when you would go, every platoon got leave at a certain time.
Right.
The whole platoon would go.
Right.
And there would always be a platoon left behind in case of an emergency.
Sure.
We're called somewhere.
Sure.
And we have to jump in. So
contingency plan.
always a whole platoon or no, the rest of the company, which would be 4 platoons, because the company consisted of 5.
Right.
Well, now, no, I'm wrong. I'm actually
The flip.
No. I forget which one was on, like, their platoon was on leave.
Yeah.
The 4 companies, and mine was 2nd 508 Combat Support.
Yeah.
We sat on the runway. Where are we going? Oh, there's some guerrillas in Angola that we're fighting, and I didn't even know what the fuck was going on. And when they started passing out live ammunition, all I can tell you is the butterflies I felt.
Sure.
I never felt. Now, I remember as a kid getting in a fight in school.
Sure.
When you got in a fight in school when you were little, 2nd grade, 1st grade, whoever got the bloody nose, he won. He gave him a bloody nose. You don't learn that fighting can take minutes. And then who weathers that storm.
Yeah. So we get bloody
you
nose
learn
go
that
like this
as you grow.
with their blood and go, all right.
But now,
From
back
something
to,
like that.
I'm talking about the 2nd grade fight.
Yeah.
I remember having butterflies. I fought a kid named Henry.
I remember the story.
He hit me in the face. I saw stars.
Yeah. Huh.
Okay. I'm holding my bloody nose. Henry walked away. Everybody said, Henry won the fight. Then you become a man, you realize that isn't the fight.
Yeah.
That's the beginning of the fight.
Yeah.
So it made me tougher.
Yeah.
And
it sounds like
meeting Uncle Peter.
This is post. You met him after you get out of the army.
I really didn't talk to him much until I was out of the Army.
But before we get into that, so we would just say to wrap up that part of your life. So, you know, growing up in Brooklyn, then going to the military, being airborne, everything kind of culminated for you to come back, I guess, to Brooklyn at this point, kind of with a different mindset and perspective, a little bit.
Yeah.
A different person.
Yeah, absolutely.